Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we are going to be going over a tournament finals for Treasure format, which is October 2002. Okay, we are going to be going over the ban list and a couple sample deck lists, since I assume most people do not actually know what Treasure format is. Okay, so looking at the ban list, we can see like all the Exodia parts at 1, Cyber Jar at 1, a bunch of the power spells are at 1, like every power spell, and then Upstart Goblin for some reasons at 1 also, the Mirror Force, and then we have a couple semi-limits like Sandgan, Witch of the Black Forest, Card Destruction, Heavy Storm, and Swords over Revealing Light, so it's a pretty small ban list, especially compared to nowadays. But you can see there's infinite 1-ofs that will be played in the deck, and honestly a lot of these 2-ofs are even going to be played in the deck list. But let's hop into the most popular deck list first. This is the Tomato Control deck. This is the most popular deck in the format by a mile. It almost looks like it's tier 0 with how much people play this deck. There are a few playable decks in this format, but in tournaments it's really just Tomato Control and Germ Burn. And this is the Tomato Control deck. There really isn't too much like craziness about it. Like you can see like a Cannon Soldier, sure. The Banisher of the Light, sure. These are just popular side deck choices, but the main deck doesn't really have anything too crazy in it. It just has like a bunch of the power cards in it, a bunch of the searchers, and then being able to go like Tomato in the Cannon Soldier, Tomato in the Tomato, Tomato in the Sandgan or Witch of the Black Forest. That's why they call it Tomato Control, because this card's very strong. And then going over the Germ Burn deck, we can see when we look at this deck has a lot of the burn cards in it. Obviously, it's in the name Germ Burn. So they have like this that gains life points and stalls. They have this that can reset from the graveyard. Cyber Jar, which is just an absolute broken card. Tons of cards that burn. But it's really interesting that a deck like this plays the hand rip cards. I'm not 100% sure why. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to like rip from the hand, because they could play around these cards by setting cards like Heavy Storm, and then you can't really interact with them too well. Okay, now we can go ahead and hop back to the match. Okay, so we have Lolo 88888 versus B-Sox, and let's go ahead and hop right into the match. So we will go ahead and we will see LOL 88888 decide to go first. 40 versus 40. Gotta love to see it. Opening hands, we have Trap Hole, Painful Choice, Monster Reborn, Cannon Soldier, Fissure, and Confiscation. They have Confiscation, Change of Heart, Mirror Force, Witch of the Black Forest, and Pot of Greed. And okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go activate Confiscation, look at the opponent's hand, and then rip a card. So we will go ahead, rip the Pot of Greed, you know, the +1, go ahead, rip that. So it was just a 1-for-1 there, but we also got to see everything in their hand. And then activate Painful Choice to go ahead and look at 5. Okay, so this is looking like the Tomato deck here. Yeah, I mean, Fissure, Trap Hole. Yeah, this is definitely the Tomato deck. We will grab a Maneater Bug. Well, they will force us to grab Maneater Bug. Then set Cannon Soldier, which we're bluffing as a Maneater Bug. And then set Trap Hole, Reborn, pass. They draw into the Mashalin Chow Chaser. Then they will go normal summon out Witch, battle phase attack, thinking that they're going to get value, but it's a Cannon Soldier. And then main phase 2, Confiscation to go ahead and look at the hand, and they rip the Maneater Bug. Then they go set Mirror Force, pass. If they want to, I mean, they could have changed the heart, taken this, and then use its effect, tribute itself, and burn. Pass, draw into MST, and then they switch to attack, battle phase, beat over the Witch, and then they have the Witch effect to go search, grab out a Sandgan, then pass turn, they draw a Maneater Bug. So they go normal summon Sandgan, change a heart to go take, battle phase, swing, getting in some good damage there, and then main phase 2, Cannon Soldier, tribute itself, burn for 5, pass, they draw Dark Hole, which I mean you definitely don't want to use that onto a Sandgan, that's horrible value. So we'll go MST, pop the back row, and then Monster Reborn to bring out the Tomato, and then battle phase, swing over Sandgan, and then Sandgan effect to go search, grab out a Witch of the Black Forest. Yeah, these cards are pretty nice then. Like the fact that these are at 2 each is such a random number too. You could just kind of like loop back and forth between them. Draw MST, set Maneater Bug, MST, pass, draw in the Heavy Storm, attack, and then Maneater Bug, pop. It won't get its effect since it has to be destroyed by battle. And then end phase, MST, pass, I draw Trap Hole, and then normal summon, set Trap Hole. Sure, it doesn't even matter. It's not like there's any hand traps you have to be worried about or anything. Then attack, pass, they draw Sandgan. So now they go normal Sandgan, activate Fissure, battle phase, swing for 1,000, set Heavy Storm, pass, they draw into Wabaku, and then normal out Witch, battle phase, attack over Sangan, and then Sangan effect, go ahead, search out the Witch, set Waboku, pass, draw Trap Hole, activate Heavy Storm, chain the Waboku, okay, then they just go set Witch, set Trap Hole, pass, they draw MST, they attack in the Witch, and then take 100, set MST, pass, they draw Raigeki. I mean, it's not like we're gonna want to go for damage here. I mean, you could Dark Hole, but that doesn't seem very good. They draw Magician of Faith, so they're gonna go set, pass. They draw Magician of Faith now. Activate Raigeki, go ahead and pop, which, yeah, I mean, the Magician of Faith, being able to grab back a spell is really good. Okay, it looks like they accidentally... Oh, no, they accidentally banished the top card. Okay, activate Witch effect, go ahead, search Sangan. Now, that's the last, like, Sangan Witch that they'll have access to. Now they'll go Witch attack directly, set Magician of Faith, pass, they draw into Magician of Faith. Okay, yeah, but they don't have a Dark Hole Raigeki to deal with this. So that means that Magician of Faith's gonna get value, draw on the Waboku. They might think this is Sangan, so... Actually, let me see, did they shuffle the hand? Okay, thank gosh they shuffled the hand. I was gonna say otherwise they, like, would know what it is. So... Well, not know what it is. Well, I guess they would know it's, like, not Sangan. Witch attack over Magician of Faith. They're going to grab back Pot of Greed, and then we can go Magician of Faith into Delinquent Duo. Activate Duo. Rip the hand. We have Trap Hole Waboku, which will make sure we stay alive. Pass to draw Cannon Soldier. MST the back row. Yeah, they were trying to win there. Cannon Soldier beat over, then burn for 5, but they do hit them with the Waboku play. Just set it, pass, draw into Maneater Bug, and then switch to defense, attack. Shouldn't we have attacked with this first? And then, like, we can see if we even need to switch this to defense. I mean, you probably would anyways, but yeah, you could, like, threaten that there'll be more damage, I guess. They draw into Snatch Steal, take Magician of Faith, Cannon Soldier, burn for 500, then Cannon Soldier, tribute itself, burn for 500 more. Wow. Okay, on to the next game now. We'll see LOL decide to go first. We have Snatch Steal, Magician of Faith, Mystic Tomato, Fissure, Maneater Bug, and Magician of Faith. They have Maneater Bug, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and Forceful Sentry. So this one looks at the opponent's hand, but then it shuffles it back into the deck. And then goes set Tomato, pass. They draw Delinquent Duo. Holy, so we can rip so much. Activate Forceful to go ahead and look at the hand, and then rip the Fissure. Now they just pass turn. Okay, so they don't activate Delinquent Duo, trying to rip. Sure. Flip Tomato, normal summon. Yeah, that's kind of tough, though. I mean, we were trying to play around their Maneater Bug, I guess, by not setting our Maneater Bug. So go swing, to draw Raigeki. And I guess, like I was going to say, if they commit more to the field, then you can Dark Hole them, too. And then we can go Monster Reborn, take, and then Battle Phase, swing. We do know they have Snatch Steal, though. Activate Delinquent Duo, hit Magician of Faith, and they rip their own Maneater Bug. Set Maneater Bug, pass, draw Trap Hole, Snatch Steal, take the big monster, attack in the Maneater Bug, trade that. Sure, that's fine. Set Magician of Faith, Trap Hole, pass, they draw Magician of Faith. Magician of Faith in this format seems ridiculous. Heavy Storm, pop, Raigeki, pop, set Magician of Faith, pass, they draw MST, set, pass, they draw in the Mass Sorcerer, which if this card does damage, you get to draw one. So that card in this position sounds crazy. We could Heavy Storm the back row. I don't know if we necessarily need to. It plays around the Mirror Force, though. Which that card's pretty good, but this card plays around Trap Hole already. Yeah, so we're just going to go normal summon, battle phase attack, draw into Mirror Force, set Mirror Force, the MST at end phase, draw Sangan, which is an incredible out to the Mass Sorcerer there. If they drew like a random back row card, that could have been pretty bad. This card just gained infinite value, would have been horrible for them. Draw Trap Hole, and then we do have Magician of Fate that we could flip, and I think that's what we're thinking about, but let's say it doesn't really do a whole lot. We can go Monster Reborn into a big body, which allows us to beat over Sangan, and then we have set Trap Hole. But I guess like the same thing's kind of happening now. Oh, we're gonna add back Raigeki though. Okay, set MST, pass, draw Maneater Bug. I guess we don't need a big body. Really like any of our bodies out Sangan. Okay, so now they draw Mirror Force, attack over, Maneater Bug pops, Sangan effect, search out Witch of the Black Forest, but yeah, now it's just another body. Draw on the Change of Heart, and then pass, draw Change of Heart, flip Witch of the Black Forest, poke, so getting them pretty low, especially when we have like Change of Heart MST as a push. They draw on the Sangan, and then set Sangan, end phase MST, draw Monster Reborn. Okay, that's game. Yeah, go Change of Heart, take Monster Reborn, summon back, battle phase swing for game. So on to game number 3 now. We will see B-Sox go first, and we have Witch of the Black Forest, Forceful Century, Sangan, Trap Hole, Painful Choice. They have Regeki, Tomato, Trap Hole, Chaser, Trap Hole, and MST. Okay, so they didn't draw very many powerful cards this game. Pass, draw Magician of Faith, and then we will go main phase, activate Painful Choice, go ahead and just reveal 4 really good cards in the Magician of Faith, which also this makes our Magician of Faith in hand already much better. So they will make us grab back. What do they even make us grab here? Like, it feels so bad. Whatever it is, it feels bad. I guess you could give them like Magician of Faith because we have an out to it, like 1-for-1 trade. But you also could get really hard baited if you Regeki a random set monster. It very well could be Sangan Witch. And that wouldn't be a bad play either because it plays around the opponent's Change of Heart. Because if they take it and they think that they can flip it and get value off of it, and then haha, it's Sangan, like, you're gonna be mad. So they're gonna make them add back Change of Heart. Okay, that's kind of where I was thinking it was gonna be, but this card's still gonna be really good later on. I guess this card's always just gonna be grabbing a good card. Normal summon out Witch, battle phase attack, and then it's Tomatoes, so no damage. Set Trap Hole, activate Forceful Century, and then rip the Regeki, and then pass to draw Maneater Bug. Normal summon out the Chaser, we go Trap Hole to pop it, switch Tomato to attack, beat over, and then effect goes search out a Maneater Bug, set MST, pass, draw on the Snatch Steal, and then we go set Magician of Faith, pass, they draw Magician of Faith, but their Magician of Faith doesn't do anything right now. Beat over Magician of Faith, add back Pot of Greed, pass, draw Tomato, and then Pot of Greed, draw on the MST Cannon Soldier, set Maneater Bug, MST, pass, they draw Witch, and then normal summon out Witch, Tomato attack over because they know that's the card that they're going to want to pop. Then attack with Witch, sure. And then pass turn, draw Regeki. Set Tomato, pass, they draw Tomato, normal Tomato, Tomato beat over Tomato, and then Tomato effect, a 7 Tomatoes, so many Tomatoes. Then go switch to defense. Also, which Tomato do you think looks better? Do you think it's this Tomato that looks better or this Tomato that looks better? I don't know, I feel like this one's so iconic. Then pass, they draw Fissure. Okay, so this destroys the one with the lowest attack. So we could beat over Witch and then Fissure the other Tomato. Then they will have Witch effect go search, which is just going to grab out another Witch. Fissure pop Tomato, then set Sangan, pass, they draw MST. Okay, so they have multiple MSTs, multiple Trap Holes, pass. Now we have multiple MSTs. So we go MST on the MST, they MST the MST, which chains, which pops the Trap Hole. So many MSTs. I mean, I guess it is like a mirror match. Then they go Change of Heart, take Maneater Bug. And then we go, yeah, if we flip this, it'll have to pop itself. So we're just not going to flip it. We're just going to Cannon Soldier, end up tributing it off. So we can swing for a lot of damage here. And then, you know, having Regeki plus Snatch Steal while putting the opponent's life points down is pretty good. Cannon Soldier, burn for 5. Cannon Soldier, burn for 5. Sangan goes search. And then we still have bodies on board. They don't have, like, Dark Hole or Regeki to deal with it here. They draw on the Banisher of the Light, which does have 2,000 defense. So set Banisher of the Light, Trap Hole, MST. We draw Monster Reborn. And then Battle Phase, Cannon Soldier attack. And then we take 600. Pass to draw Mystic Tomato. Which this would have been a lot better if they had, like, a Witch of the Black Forest or Sangan on field, because this makes it so that way everything gets banished, and we could, like, normal Tomato, beat over. I mean, we could still normal Tomato and crash, and that'll stop them from getting any value off their cards. So normal Tomato, crash with the Cannon Soldier. Okay, then they draw the Chaser. So now they go normal Chaser, they Trap Hole it, Snatch Steal go take, Tomato go attack, and then they MST the Snatch Steal. I was gonna say, like, is this even that good? Like, sure, they get to take this, but they're really only dealing 400 damage this turn. Pass, draw Monster Reborn. And then, okay, that can reborn the Chaser in the grave, which can allow us to beat over Tomato. That will suck, though, when we get hit with Regeki. Yeah, that would suck. So they're going to go activate Monster Reborn, special summon back out Chaser. And then Battle Phase, attack over the Tomato, and then pass turn, the draw Heavy Storm, Regeki the board, normal summon witch, battle phase attack. The monster reborn would not be game, so we don't even go ahead and try to commit to it. Set heavy storm pass to draw mass sorcerer, which isn't good there. But you know, I mean, I guess it's not bad because you can set it, and when this card inflicts battle damage to the opponent's life points, you get to draw one. Then pass, draw monster reborn. Draw mirror force. My bad. I was just looking at the monster reborn. I was thinking if we were gonna use it there to summon back out, which we do go ahead and activate. Then that will summon out the chaser from the graveyard, and then chaser attack over the sorcerer, and then witch attack directly, putting them down to 1,000. They draw fissure. Okay, so normal summon, but if you normal summon witch, crash, and then fissure, that doesn't work. Oh my gosh, this is looking like it's over. So set witch, set fissure, pass, draw chaser, heavy storm the back row, normal chaser, battle phase attack over, and that is game. GG's, GG's. So we end up seeing a Lolo end up beating B-Sox there, and that is going to be it for the match. Now the match is over. I did message the third best player in treasure format according to the statistics on the treasure leaderboard. If you check right here, Dump Truck, I ended up asking them a few questions on the format and how they felt about it, and I'm going to go ahead and go over those answers right now. Alright, so first I'm going to go over the 3 questions that I asked Mr. Dump Truck, and then I will go over his answers. So the first thing I asked was, for competitive purposes, do you think Tomato Control is the only real choice to bring to a tourney, or do you think other decks like Germ Burn are worth bringing, or do you feel like other decks are just simply not good enough? The second question I asked was, do you feel like the format is solved, or do you feel like there's still room for improvement on the deck lists? And the third question I asked was, even with all the Saki cards in the format, do you still think the better player wins more often than not, or do you feel like there's a lot of games you lose to getting outlucked? Okay, so going over their answers on the first question I asked on, do you think Tomato Control is the only real choice or not? They said, I don't think Tomato Control, I usually refer to it as standard, is the only real choice. Burn is tier 1 or 1.5. Then they said Relinquished is also a strong choice, probably tier 2 at this point. Recruiter Control is strong tier 2 as well. Now the next question I asked was, do you feel like the format is solved, or you feel like there's still room for improvement on the deck list? And the first thing they said was, I don't think the format is solved. Here is my thinking. First, spell and trap zone removal can really be optimized. A lot of players default to 3 MST, but 2 Heavy Storm and fewer MST might be better at the moment, since only Snatch Duel requires the chainable removal, unlike other formats where Call of the Haunted and Premature Burial are included. Waboku is also out of the fashion at the moment, which makes end phase MST worse. Then, side decking is very unrefined, particularly changes for going first versus second, and things for countering the burn deck. The third thing they said was, there's no conscience on the optimal way to handle common situations, like whether or not to set power spells going first to avoid getting hand ripped by the opponent in their first turn. At the moment, it just feels like a gamble on whether your opponent has hand rips or spell trap zone that they're going to fire. Then, responding to the last question I asked on whether this format was just Saki, or do you think the better player wins more often, they said, finally, I think the format is one of the most skill-intensive format in duel monsters. There aren't really too many Saki cards, and the hand rips very rarely decide games. Games go on for a long time, like in YK and Critter, which are other formats. There are constant decisions to be made, skill checks in other words, so it's very possible for the better player to come back from a rough opening by playing an intelligent, long game. In terms of the history of TCG, I don't think things truly get Saki until Yada format. Mirage of the Nightmare letting you go +4 combined with the hand-ripping monsters is a turning point in my opinion. Others disagree and think things got bad with 2 Graceful Charities starting in JP/Fiber format. But back to treasure format though, it reminds me of GOAT format in that bluffing and reading are hugely important. Again, this is similar to the Critter format. Then they said, how do you respond to set monsters or the Magician of Faith, Bug, Tomato, a Critter, based on context and game state is massively important and super challenging. It feels like one loses fewer games to luck in treasure format than in most DM formats. My last point would be that a lot of players see the 3 hand rips, duo, forceful, confiscation, and are immediately turned off. They inflict some emotional damage at first, but the more experience you have in the format, the less oppressive that they get. Just another part of the ecosystem, valuable counterplay to critter searches, Magician of Faith add backs. There was no such counterplay in Critter. If your opponent gets that advantage, you just have to eat it. And surprisingly skillful to use, timing whether to hold, the hand rips, etc, etc. So last thing I want to say is thank you to Mr. Dump Truck for giving me all those answers to the questions that I had. And also make sure to check out the Treasure Trove, which is a Discord server if you want to go ahead and play Treasure format yourself. I'll also be leaving a link down below to the format library if you want to get more information on this format or watch more replays from tournaments. And with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace, have a nice day, stay safe.